Welcome back to another Ethereum analysis. So back to the monthly, this is the bias that I'll be holding until such time that it plays out or invalidated. But for me, exceptionally bullish on the monthly, exceptionally bullish on Ethereum, especially given the fact that Ethereum always outperforms Bitcoin in low interest rate environments. And with all the rate cuts that we've got at the moment, this is the type of environment where Ethereum also performs. In addition to the fact that the Fed is ending quantitative tightening and starting QE with increasing their balance sheets, this is the type of environment where Ethereum really outperforms. So exceptionally bullish that we've reacted at this monthly fair value gap, as well as inside of this monthly breaker block. So I'm just going to hide this for the time being. And when we look at the weekly, we can see that previous weekly low as well as that weekly fair value gap. So that is the level that it bounced off. It was also the yearly open that I mentioned yesterday. So high time frame, monthly, we are bullish. On the weekly, of course, we are just retracing. Don't be fooled. This is an expansion. This is a shallow retracement relative to this range that we're dealing with. So right now, this is just a shallow range, shallow retracement, I should say. And so with that in mind, we look to the 4 hour. So yesterday I mentioned in the Bitcoin analysis that I was looking for a reaction of any of these previous day highs, especially the previous day from Thursday, because that's also where the weekly resistance is. And so when we look at Ethereum, I was looking for, if you were to be bullish, and this was this was SMT with Bitcoin, which of course now will turn into relative lows, which we'll get to in a moment. But yesterday I was speaking about how if you are going to remain bullish, you need to see a squeeze from these levels, which could potentially happen. But having swept this high, right, and you can take my word for it if you can't see it on the video, go check it on your charts, on the perpetual chart here. You'll see that the previous day high was in fact swept. We've now got a change in the state of delivery at this point, which is also the weekly open. Right, you want to look for that. When you get your change in the state of delivery at the opening level of the high time frame candle that you are trading, that's exceptionally a strong confluence. So we have formed the wick of the weekly as we have done so on Bitcoin, and now we've got Sunday's lows that are taking out. I see that I don't think Bitcoin has taken out that low. Is that Bitcoin? Yes, that's the Ethereum. So this Sunday low is a really attractive level to be looking at going into this London session. So any type of retracements, you can look to set off into that level for some low-hanging fruits. So that can be ignored now. Right, so we swept the previous day high. We've got our change in the state of delivery. We've formed the wick thus far with the weekly candle, and now we're getting distribution, which is aligned with that weekly bearish retracements. So shorts are paying. We've got some really low-hanging fruit to targets, and now we've got these relative lows, which also previous weekend lows with Friday, Saturday, with the Sunday there. So plenty of sell-side liquidity to trade into. Any type of retracement you should be looking for a sell-off into these levels, and we got some nice inefficiencies to trade off from. So yeah, same story with Bitcoin. If you haven't checked it out, go watch that video. I'll talk about a potential bullish market maker model forming. It's the same for Ethereum. Of course, these assets are exceptionally correlated, and I mentioned yesterday that dropping back into this low wouldn't be the end of the world. It would still have the monthly intact for the monthly unicorn. So there's no worries. And at the end of the day, we still have all these relative highs. We've also got the CME futures high still intact, and this relatively these low resistance liquidity. So yeah, plenty to trade towards when and if that time comes, which I do believe it will. And so let's see what Ethereum does. Again, I mentioned how I'd prefer to see Bitcoin take out these lows, and if Ethereum doesn't, that's great. Then we got some SMT. I think at the least I'd like to see these lows taken out. If this does stay intact, fantastic. Doesn't need to. But we'll see what happens going into November. But for the time being, sticking to today's analysis, these are your clear targets, especially if this low does not get taken out. with the retracements going into 2 a.m. and London Open. Those are really nice targets to trade towards. If we just blast through that, you'd probably see, with Asia expanding like that, perhaps that London just consolidates or just retraces, and then we could get new continuation down to these levels. So let's see how that plays out for the rest of the day. But for me, especially from a spot perspective, I'm getting really bullish now, and I'll be exceptionally bullish down at these levels, especially with Bitcoin. Go check out that video if you haven't. Also, for those who messaged me yesterday who want to join the community, it is absolutely free. All you need to do is just sign up with the link for our affiliate link with Bybit. Sign up through those guys. Join the community. It's absolutely free. There's education. There's swing trading signals. Live streams almost daily, and a great community of people. So come get involved. But until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.